from East Hartford, Connecticut, the RH2A radio communications entry for Joey Farino.
Then it will be number 73, a driver from Old Lyme, as he is aboard the Pat's Auto sponsored car. Here is Chris Carell.
In the high lane, crane and rigging, number 31 from Plymouth, Connecticut. Starting in the 25th position, it is Ted Kane.
Then it will be car number 29. He comes from Somers, Connecticut, as he is in the Fireball Farm sponsored entry, Chris Matthews.
MA Motorsports back. The driver of car number 89 from Berlin, Connecticut. It is Mark Alkis, starting 23rd.
Then it will be car number 77. A driver who comes from Towin, Connecticut, Mark Burke.
Starting 21st tonight in car number 2 from Mahwah, New Jersey in the ShopRite event field and Alliance Shippers Incorporated machine, it is Joe Graff Jr.
RDM Motorsports brings us car number 99. The driver comes from Plantsville, Connecticut, Rick Dulac.
The 19th starter drives car number 17 from Manchester, Connecticut in the Barkowski Motorsports entry, it is Glenn Barkowski.
Then it will be the Warhorse, driving the Precision Mechanical number 60. Here is Glenn Griswold.
Island Cove Marina sponsors car number 6 from Farmington, Connecticut, starting tonight's event in the 17th spot, Corey DiMatteo.
A rookie in this division who has already earned the nickname of Hollywood in the Vians Motorsports car, Christopher Vians.
Cash Money Racing is Jeff Nudie's sponsor, car number 79 from Southwick, Mass.
One of the youngest drivers in the field will be in car number 88 from North Haven. Wheeler's Auto is the sponsor. The man behind the wheel, Marcello Refrano.
The Charland Motor Stripes number 1 is driven by the man himself, starting 13th, Bob Charland.
He was a heat race winner earlier tonight aboard car number 19, as he is from Middlefield, Connecticut, in the Santangelo Motorsports car, Tony Santangelo.
The 11th starter here tonight hails from Plainville, Connecticut, a former winner here this year in SK Light Modified competition in the All-State Fire Equipment entry. It is George Nocera Jr.
This driver is known as the Bullet in the Competitive Edge Coatings car. Car number 92, driven by Dan Wesson.
Big Hoss USA back the driver of car number 75 from Tallinn, Connecticut. Please welcome David Arute.
And a man from right here in Stafford aboard car number 22. Second in the point standings in the Prucker Motorsports car, here is Wesley Prucker.
Rolling off 7th on the grid tonight in the Johnny's Mud Rings. Number 81 from Vernon, Connecticut, it is Brett Gagne.
One of the veterans is in car number 07 in the Golf Motorsports car. From right here in Stafford, the Golfster, Jay Goff.
Hailing from East Hampton, Connecticut, driving car number 59 in the Williams Motorsports Modified, it is Rick Williams.
Now let's meet the drivers in the first 2 rows. Starting in car number 16, he comes from Palmer. Marcotte Ford is the sponsor. Here is Todd Doulard.
Starting 3rd tonight in the Mid-State Site Development H.O. Penny Machinery number 27 from Canton, Connecticut, it is Glenn Corder.
And here are the 2 drivers who will bring the field around. On the outside of the front row, a rookie in car number 13, but the reigning Stafford Legend champion in the Mid-State Site Development and Penn Machinery car, here is Noah Corder. Go to our 2-seat modified and John Gates.
Okay, we have Doug Dunleavy in the 2-seater, and Doug, are you ready to give the command?
Yeah, I'm all set. Strapped in here like a sardine. All right, gentlemen, start your engine.
All righty, here we go.
Oh, is there a better sound than that? As Joe, 27 cars spring to life. In car number 28 is our master of ceremonies, Doug Dunleavy, as we have Dunleavy's on the starters.
Remember, those are 2 guys that have a lot of experience at running longer races. Not a lot of the drivers in this field here tonight have run races much longer than 20 laps, but the drivers who have Legends experience, they've got a lot of experience running long races.
And as soon as this race is over, Glenn and Noah will be headed to Lake Erie Speedway as they will be traveling 7 hours for that track to compete tomorrow, and then they'll be going back to Connecticut to Thompson to compete in the Legends in a Road Race course. So we are getting ready as our honorary starter is ready, and it is hold your breath time at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Jack Dunleavy on the flag stand, set to send these cars underway. SK Light Modified history is being made here tonight. 40 laps, the longest event in the history of this division. The base car has those Whelen Engineering lights out, and they are headed for cover. Keith Caruso on the bottom as we get ready to go. Green flag racing on Dunleavy Modified night.
The lightning bolts have left the clouds. Keith Caruso getting the jump on Noah Corner. Corner settling into second, and here's Doulard as we predicted. He has already moved up to third. Noah Corner wants to lead.
Inside lane trying to take the top spot away from Keith Caruso. Caruso goes wide off turn number 4. Corner keeps it pinched right down to the inside lane, but lap number 1 is led by Keith Caruso.
And Glenn Corner trying to move up in a fight for 4th and 5th with Jay Goff. Here is Noah again. He has the crevice. Let's see as he strolls underneath Caruso. And right now, Caruso just has too much pizzazz on the outside groove.
Momentum working to his advantage. Todd Doulard sees that and now runs to the outside of Noah Corner as they get into turn number 1. Doulard started 4th. He's challenging for 2nd off turn 2.
And it is Corner trying to keep his spot. Doulard has some momentum. Right behind them, the combination of Glenn Corner and Jay Goff. Also in the upper tier, Wesley Parker off to a good start. And then Daniel Wesson is in the upper group.
Yeah, Wesson's making his way forward. He said after practice that this car is perfect. And look at him power up the outside. Goes high on Glenn Corner, getting down into turn number 3. Right behind Wesley Brucker in the 22.
Some daylight has been created by the 06 of Keith Caruso. And now the man on the inside trying to shake loose of Todd Doulard. And Noah Corner is on the verge of doing that. What a power move by Daniel Wesson as he was able to whisk his way by Glenn Corner. Now he drops back a position. Tony Santangelo and Marcello Refrano are also in the mix.
Marcello Refrano working on the inside lane directly behind the Glenn Corner number 27. Meanwhile, Brucker gets out of shape, and we've got 3 or 4 cars involved in front of the entire field. Everybody climbs all over the binders as they close in off turn number 2. It all started from the 3rd spot. Brucker got out of shape, and everybody stacked up after
really
that.
Didn't look like it. It just looked like getting squeezed into the weeds was Brucker. Remember, you can see all replays from right in your seat because they are available on the track's Twitter feed. So you don't have to go anywhere. Just bring your cell phone, and you will be able to watch all the replays from the comfort of your own seat.
All right, ready to get going here once again in this special 40-lap event as part of Dunleavy's Modifieds night. Front row looks a lot like it did on the initial start. Keith Caruso on the bottom. The outside lane belonging to Noah Corner as they roll off turn 4.
And last time, Corner made an early bid, but like he soda out of a shaken can. That is a script for Keith Caruso. Now Jay Goff is moving quickly. He is in 3rd, and he isn't content with that.
In the 3rd spot, looks in the rearview mirror, sees Glenn Corner battling alongside Todd Doulard as they come off turn number 4. Inside lane, out of shape was Daniel Wesson. Did a really nice job at keeping that car pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, that was a Mariano Rivera type save that time for Wesson. Now getting closer to our leader, Keith Caruso, is Noah Corner. A strong move, a little deeper in the pack. Brett Gagnon trying to make something happen in car number 81. So Gagnon is definitely on the move up. And right next door to him is David Arute in car number 75. He has been a very consistent driver the first month of the season.
Launched off turn number 2 very efficiently. That allowed him to close into Todd Doulard, the back bumper. Meanwhile, behind them, Brett Gagnon's got a mirror full. Corey DiMatteo is in a side-by-side battle in that 6 car, looking down to the inside lane of the racetrack, and bringing right along with him is George Nocera in that red 38.
So the mule kicking up his heels. It was DiMatteo almost taking a shot underneath Brett Gagnon. He might try it in turn number 1, so keep an eye on car number 6 as he is able to thunderbolt his way halfway underneath the 81 car, but he is unable to complete the field. The nickname for Corey DeMatteo, the Late Show. We have a battle for the lead. Here comes Noah Corner. He worked a long time to try to make this move pay off.
By a whisker, Keith Caruso was leading at the line, but Noah Corner is there, inside lane. Nerf bar to nerf bar, down the back straightaway, diving off into turn number 3, grabs a handful of steering wheel, tries to cut it right down to the inside lane of the racetrack, and Noah Corner is out in front as the caution flag is out.
Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I hope everybody enjoys the race, and I'm going to watch the rest of it, so have fun.
Doug Dunleavy from the Napa two-seater after a wild ride with Bob Potter.
He said he wanted to get going again. I don't think Doug Dunleavy ever stops going.
Yeah, I think he was strapping that helmet back on, wanting to go back out there and compete.
Yeah, he wanted to change places with Bob Potter. Right now, our emphasis is on the backstretch as we get ready for a restart. Keith Caruso in car number 06 and Noah Corner, he is giving him headache after headache. We'll see if that trend continues as they get up to speed.
Green flag is waving once again. Caruso has been very good so far on the first 10 laps. Noah Corner up in the high lane. And here comes Jay Goff with that 07. Running down on the bottom, underneath Corner, wants second. They're battling for the top spot in turn 3.
And also crowding him is the 92 of Daniel Wesson as he is running a sturdy 4th. They springboard their way off the corner, and here is Noah Corner grabbing the lead. He will be your official leader after 11 laps.
Corner out in front for the very first time, puts Caruso back to second. Wesson put the pressure on Jay Goff for third. And here comes David Arute now, looking down to the inside of Glenn Corner. This is a battle for the 5th spot off turn 4.
This isn't just the first time that Noah Corner has taken the lead tonight. The first time in his career that he is leading laps. Best battle, 3rd and 4th. Ross has a spot. Trying to crowbar his way underneath is Daniel Wesson. Right behind them is Glenn Corner. Here's the move by Wesson. It comes up empty. He fires a blank against Jay Goff.
Able to keep a wheel down to the inside. Here's David Arute challenging in underneath Glenn Corner again. Battle raging on for 3rd, though, intensifies. Goff and Wesson neck and neck of the back straightaway. Corner is there. A little help to the back of Wesson into turn number 3, and Corner now backs up.
Yeah, Glenn Corner spanked the back bumper of Wesson, and that enabled him to trampoline his way into 3rd place. Glenn Corner lost a little momentum. David Arute is right there. Corey DeMatteo is still in contention. And now, a great battle between Brett Gagne on the inside and Todd Doulard on the outside.
A little bit deeper in the top 10. Gagne from Vernon, Connecticut is able to get the spot. George Nocera puts a wheel underneath Doulard as well. Nearly clips the dirt at the entrance of turn number 1, but he's got the spot as he races off turn 2.
Now here comes Glenn Corner, taking a shot at Jay Goff. He got about underneath one wheel, and that was the extent of his move. And Goff, driving like a youngster, is able to hold off the young Glenn Corner, a student at Central Connecticut State University. Corner now looking inside. This is for 4th.
Goff runs a middle lane. Here comes Corner. Can't do it this time by in the outside lane. Now David Arute fills that gap. He's trying to follow Goff on through.
And David Arute is one of the best in this division, who's running the outside. He proved it right there. Back by Corner. And now under siege is Jay Goff because David Arute, the big house auto car, is right there.
Meanwhile, we've got trouble on turn number 4. 2 cars have spun, pointed in the wrong direction is one of them. Caution flag is out, 18 laps in, our 3rd caution of the night.
And Joey Farino was one of those cars behind the wheel in that number 13 car. He said the transition from the Legends to the SKs has not been that bad. He says that the SK is a lot easier for him to drive than the Legend car. So when he goes behind the wheel of the 13, it's almost like going on vacation for him.
Yeah, well, they will tell you that Legends cars are some of the most difficult automobiles to drive because of the short wheelbase. Well, now all of a sudden, you get a little bit more power, more tire. Remember how big these tires are in these modifieds. They're 15 inches across. There's a lot of rubber on four corners, and that makes a big difference. The Wheel and Engineering lights are out. Noah Corner is the race leader on the inside. Keith Caruso has run a fine race today. 18 laps in, just shy of the halfway point.
And here is Caruso. He has been flawless on every restart, and he is flawless again, regaining his lead, and Jay Goff is trying to go with him.
That's a big moment for Keith Caruso. Now Noah Corner has to fend off a hard-charging Jay Goff, who challenges to his outside. Glenn Corner is trying to come up through as well. He's in his own fight with Daniel Wesson.
And now here comes Glenn Corner looking for some room, and right now he is boxed in by the combination of Wesson and Goff. David Arute is in a battle with George Nacera. Nacera usually has a finishing kick at the end of the race. What else would you expect by a network, by a driver who has a nickname of the Mule? This is something we have never seen before. Lap number 21, the longest that the SK lights have ever gone.
There's Noah Corner now going back after the race lead underneath Keith Caruso, getting down into turn number 3. They both run wide through the corner, and that's all Noah Corner needs to take over the top spot.
And here is Daniel Wesson as he is grabbing the shirt tail of Noah Corner, trying to take advantage of his speed. Getting crossed up is Jay Goff as he went into the Raisinets in turn number 2. So Goff losing a handful of positions.
Oh, trouble! Noah Corner hard into the outside. Turn 4 wall, went straight into the outside fence. He was out in front, got loose on his own accord, overcorrected, and the car darted to the right.
Many people knew that he was going to be a contender.
That's a good way to describe it, Matt, too, because he was optimistic coming into the event today. We've re-racked the field now after the caution flag. That'll put that 0-6 machine of Keith Caruso on the front row, lining up alongside Glenn Corner. Inside row number 2 is going to be Jay Goff with Jordan Nocera Jr. in that Ted Christopher modified. Inside row number 5, in the 5th position, it's going to be David Arute, and that's top 5 as we get set to go underway. 19 laps to go, coming up on that uncharted territory, Matt. We'll see how well the tires hold up, how the drivers do. Some of them were even talking about a little fatigue running an extra double distance here tonight. We'll see how that all plays out. They don't exactly have cruise control in a race car, you know.
Well, right now, the pace car has found peace and quiet, and things get rowdy once again. Keith Caruso, the dominating man on the restart. Glenn Corner trying to keep him company. Jay Goff is not quitting. And now David Arute trying to make a move against Nacera. But right now Nacera alongside the Goffster.
And Nacera looking high, getting into turn 3. Gets walked up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes David Arute now in the 75. Trying to crack the top 3. But Nacera giving Goff a big push on the front stretch.
Things are getting crowded at the front of the field as Glenn Corner is moved to within handshaking distance of Keith Caruso. Then we have a 3-car cluster for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. David Arute trying to jackknife his way to the inside of Nacera. Right now he gets a little helping hand from Gagnon as Gagnon plays Ringo Starr to the back bumper of the Arute car, and it might push Arute past George Nacera.
Nacera powers on the outside lane, fends off the challenger. Now he's up to 4th, Arute back to 5th, and Gagnon now is knocking on the back door, trying to crack the top 5.
And right behind him is Corey DiMatteo. Bob Shawland, the Shark, is doing a great job as he is running alongside Todd Doulard. That is a battle for 9th and 10th at the front of the field. Some pushing for Keith Caruso. People who watched him compete in New Hampshire, this isn't surprising him because Keith Caruso is a 6-time modified champion.
Corey DiMatteo trying to pick up a few more spots here as we approach 15 laps to go. He wants 6th as he works the inside of Brett Gagnon, getting down into turn number 3. DiMatteo in that blue and white number 6 inside lane. Gagnon up top in the white 81.
This is why they call Corey DiMatteo the late show, because he saves his heroics for late in the race, and he just pulled one off the Island Cove Marina car, trying to get by the Johnny's Mud Run car of Brett Gagnon.
Gagnon holding tough. Air in the outside lane, nerf bar to nerf bar, advantage, Corey DiMatteo, inside lane, DiMatteo, he says, I like in my driving style, to Ted Christopher and to Keith Rocco. Here comes Glenn Corner, battling for the lead on the backstretch.
He has position on the inside. Glenn Corner do what his brother did a handful of laps ago. He is sitting in the lap of Keith Caruso, sharing the same Hans device. Caruso on the outside has a little more firepower.
Down the back straightaway they go. Caruso edges out in front of Glenn Corner. Runs high in the corner. Corner trying to take advantage of it down on the inside lane. A gap develops between the two of them, and here comes George Nocera. He bears down on the top two.
George Nocera, another driver who has a flourish at the finish. A little deeper, Wesley Plucker trying to move in, but the battle is for the lead. Here is Glenn Corner. He was lunging ahead. Now Caruso fights back. Now Corner moves in front, and Glenn Corner has the lead with 10 laps to go.
Corner inching forward. Meanwhile, they both go a little bit high in turns 1 and 2. Nocera is there. David Arute is there. We're down to the final 10 circuits in this special event, and they are still wheel-to-wheel for the race lead.
It is a barn burner between Caruso and Corner as they dart across the line. Corner has a lead back in car number 27. Lane change by Nocera. Almost going 3 wide. Here is George Nocera. Do or die time as he is trying to make and break his way into the lead. Corner holding him off, but for how much longer?
And here comes David Arute. He sticks his nose in there as well, trying to get underneath Caruso. The battle for the lead now between George Nocera. 3 wide all the way down to the bottom is Di Matteo. Contact between Arute and Corner. They come together. Arute into the outside wall. More cars
Sent it into the grass, 3 wide in turn 1 while I was trying to pass him on the inside, but trying to drive a car he doesn't have right now. And just got to thank On Time Accounting for coming on board this year. New England Race Fuel, Jeff Pro for his transmission, did great this year and the restarts. Just got to thank everyone, my crew. We'll be back next week.
Okay, good run gone bad for David Arute. Unfortunately, into the wall.
He said his goal tonight was to finish the race. Unfortunately, he came 8 laps short of that objective. George Nocera restarting against Keith Caruso, and Keith Caruso has been perfect on every restart tonight. We'll see if that trend can continue.
He's been tough to beat for sure. Pace car is in. Nocera on the bottom. Outside for Caruso. Green flag is waving again, and Nocera has got an excellent jump on the start. Di Matteo is right behind him, but Caruso sails it in turn 1.
He has the toughest job, trying to hang tough on the outside. He loses a spot to Di Matteo, and he's out trouble for the 07 of Goff, losing a couple positions after making contact and landing on the grass.
Corey Di Matteo now working inside, challenging for the top spot underneath Nocera. They nearly get together in turn number 2. Now here's Di Matteo, who takes advantage of that. He goes to the inside again.
He has the leverage, and now he has the lead. Nocera making contact. Nocera heading to the infield, and we have a mess in turn number 4.
Multiple cars involved. Todd Doulard went up into the outside wall. I was saying about Jeff Nooney a moment ago. He came to the racetrack, Matt, and you often see, these 2 or 3 people around helping somebody. He is all by himself tonight. He's got no crew. He's the man, towing the car on an open trailer, jacking it up, doing everything he needs to maintain this race car. It'd be a big night for him if he could finish well.
Very limited modified experience. A couple of weeks ago, I was having lunch, and the guy who was sitting next to me was Jeff Nooney. And he had an open trailer. He was getting wet, so he doesn't have one of those big haulers. Open trailer, old school, has an opportunity to win this.
Is running 6 right now in the 79 machine in the outside lane. The green flag is waving. Bit of a lazy green as they come down to the line, and Brett Gagnon is out in front, and the caution quickly comes back out. You can see Chris Gimbato waving his head. No. I didn't like that one. We're going to restart it. Brett Gagnon had a pretty good start that last time, maybe a little bit too good, and we'll re-rack. Inside Gagnon, outside Jay Goff.
Chris Gimbato and Mike Helberg scrutinizing the field as they come out of turn number 4. The drivers know this restart could determine the race, and it's won by Jay Goff.
Jay Goff around the outside lane. Can he win in his final race as a driver in the SK Lights? Well, they're going to call this one back. Goff was a little bit too quick on the trigger that time by, and we'll have to try this again.
It was a lazy green, but there was nothing lazy about that restart by Jay Goff. A little too rambunctious, so we will settle back in. And we see guys in front. Most of the guys up in the front are guys who have been around for a while. A guy like Jay Goff, Glenn Griswold, who said tonight, no excuses. He's got a great motor. He's got fresh tires. Everything is in his favor. He said there was no excuses if he can't come out and get a podium finish. Bob Charland has hung tough. Car number 1. We didn't know we would see Bob Charland this year, but he jumped into that number 1 car on the opening Friday night of the season, and he has been pretty successful. So Brett Gagnon, a top 10 finalist this year in the Champion Spark Plug contest. He was able to get a pretty good payday for that, but he is after another big payday tonight. A very popular young driver, old school, I think, is a way to describe Brett Gagnon. His crew chief, his crew consists of all his friends that he went to high school with. Yep. He went to Cheney Tech in Manchester, and those Cheney Tech guys, the Beavers, that's the members of his crew, and it's a bunch of guys. They like to hang out together. They love to work on race cars, and they are trying to get him home with the lead, but they'll have to sweat it out for 7 more laps.
It would be a huge night for Brett Gagnon if he can capture this victory on Dunleavy's modified nights and bring home that big payday into turn 3. We will try it again. They've been warned. Let's see what happens this time by as the pace car makes that hard left turn. They're looking for the green once again. The lights are on. The green is waving. It's an even start between Brett Gagnon and Jay Goff.
And Gagnon trying to do something about that. Here comes Goff. He is right there. Crazy glue to the side of the 81 car Gagnon. Gagnon moves into the lead. Here comes Bob Charland as he rockets his way into second place.
Charland nearly loses a handle on the inside lane of the racetrack. Goff went up high. That's the only thing that kept him from collecting each other in turns 3 and 4. Gagnon is away with a race lead. The battle raging for second.
And right now, the upper hand goes to Charland. Behind him is Griswold. Rucker is also right there. Going far to the outside is Jay Goff. Was that a good move? Not quite, because Charland has second by a half a car length.
5 laps to go for Brett Gagnon in this SK Light 40. Into second place is going to be Bob Charland. Here comes Glenn Griswold now. He wants to finish on the podium tonight as he pulls to the inside of Jay Goff.
So the old warhorse is on the gallop, trying to get to the inside of Goff. Rick Williams, we haven't talked about him that much. He has moved into the top 5 in car number 59.
Williams, another driver that had to start deep in the field tonight. The 89 machine speeding off turn 4 and through the grass continues on. Brett Gagnon looking for 3 to go this time by. The battle appears to be for 3rd between Griswold and Jay Goff.
Look at Marcello Refrano, car number 88 on the outside of Williams. A stutter step right there, but Refrano was involved in 2 altercations. Leading by about the length of a hockey stick is the 81 of Gagnon. 2-lap indicator. Brett Gagnon, 2 laps away from the biggest win in his racing career.
But pressuring from behind is Bob Charland. Charland has closed the gap 2 car lengths behind. Behind them, they are 2 by 2 from 4th on back. Into turn number 3. Charland drives it in deep. 1 lap to go for Brett Gagnon this time by.
Griswold trying to move into 3rd, but the spotlight is in front. Here comes Gagnon. Move to the inside. Charland couldn't get there quickly enough. Here is Gagnon as he BBs his way into turn number 3. Brett Gagnon from Vernon, Connecticut, as he scampers off turn number 4 for the final time. Your winner, Brett Gagnon, of the biggest race in SK Light Racing history.
Across the